Hello and welcome back to this episode of the Peak Results Academy podcast. I'm your host, Rich Fournier. And in this episode, I sit down with Johnny Rojas. He's a broker and CEO of Century 21 JR Gold Team Realty located in Garfield, New Jersey. Now, his brokerage is one of the fastest growing brokerages in all of the United States, and it was solidified in 2018 with a position of number 56 on the Inc. 5000. Now, in 2019, Johnny sold 163 individual properties, which earned him 119th individual ranking in all of the U.S., according to RealTrends. Now, Johnny has also done an MBA in business admin, and with all of his outstanding accomplishments and responsibilities, he's also currently pursuing a law degree from Rutgers University Law School. So stay tuned to this amazing interview. You won't be disappointed.
Have you ever wondered why some people thrive in all areas of their life? Welcome to the Peak Results Academy podcast with your host, Rich Fournier. Each week, we interview industry experts who consistently dominate in the fields of health, business, and beyond. Our mission is to share their personal struggles and strategies so that you can create your own peak results. Welcome to the Academy.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to this episode of the Peak Results Academy podcast. I'm your host, Richard Fournier, and today on this episode, we have Johnny Rojas. He's a real estate agent broker out of Garfield, New Jersey. I'm super excited to have him on the show. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Richard. It's an honor to be part of this podcast.
Thank you so much. You know, this podcast is about creating a peak result in someone's business, and of course, you're creating an amazing peak result in the real estate business in New Jersey. I think you're did 163 transactions last year as an individual. That's extraordinary. Extraordinary results.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. And so tell me, like, not very many people can do that number of transactions. I mean, up here in the Toronto market, we'll see someone do 20, 30 transactions, and that's a good year. How does someone do 163 transactions?
Well, I think it's I think it's not a simple number, but I think it's all about consistent. And I think one of the things we done in the past is just be on top of what's going on in the market, and the trends, and see what we going in the next follow-on. I mean, I normally run as a first quarter, second, third, and fourth. So basically, everything is running by reports, by the statistics, and obviously by performance. So, we want to know what we are. I think it's 165, right? It's only myself, but in the meanwhile, we do have our team, we are, like about 65 agents. And obviously from the 65 agents, we have like about 15 agents full time. So in the rest, it's double career. So they work part time, but then also they have production. So probably if we do the numbers in general, we're talking about probably about maybe 450 transactions last year.
Right. But I'm super interested in how one person does 160 plus transactions by themselves. Like, do you have a big admin staff? How does that even work?
Well, I mean, I think it's basically logistics. I cannot do this by myself. Obviously, I have a support system. My assistant and my personal assistant. So there's two elements here. I cannot do by myself. Otherwise, I will be going crazy with all the clients we have to provide service. And then not only I'm closing that transactions, but I have people around me. So my assistant, that's one, my personal assistant. So those are the people, part of my team, works in the logistics and keep me up and running as a business.
So how long have you been in the business for?
I'm being in business 21 years.
21 years. And when you look at, there's the aspect of doing a transaction, for instance. So are you prime? But then there's the aspect of marketing and advertising and showing properties and meeting with people, trying to let's try to get a little bit granular in terms of what you do. So are the majority of your transactions, are they listings?
Yes, we have I think listings are the key of the, it is hard to get it. As soon as you get it, you control the buyer aspect. So basically, let's believe you, I'll give you an example. Let's believe you have 10 listings. Imagine, right? Do the equation. For each listing you have, imagine 10 leads. So do the math. So basically, if you get more listings, and then you work very hard to get it, I think that the buyer's market, you control the buyer's market. So basically, the referrals will come in from your listing. It's basically magic. Right now, there's not much in the inventory. So whenever you have a listing, so you normally get in this market, even though with COVID, we get in multiple offers, and then you're talking about 6 to 12 offers, overbidding. So basically, listings is the key in this market right now.
Right. So how many listings would you normally carry at any given one time?
When we talk about weekly, monthly.
Yeah, say on a given weekly basis, how many would you normally carry?
Probably the production. I mean, I would say average like about 10 listings working on it.
Yeah. And when you look at the amount of advertising that you do to get those listings, what does that look like?
Well, I mean, many of those people, they done business with us. I mean, being in the business for 21, we have referrals. I think that's working. Normally the people that come back to us is because they did have a good experience in the past, and they refer to their cousin, their family members. That's one aspect. The other aspect, it is normally Central 21 is a big umbrella of international business, which is we get referrals from, let's say, from Spain, we get referrals from UK, we get referrals from China, people that are literally, they used to live in the United States, now they move to their countries, now they want to sell their house. So referrals are a big platform, but in the meanwhile, I think, in terms of marketing, I think, as you know, technology right now, it is a big boom in this industry. So basically, technology, it's a big company in our business and our platform to get more listings.
Got it. And if you were to start today, what would be the best way for you to start to thrive inside the real estate business? What would you do today if you were going to start brand new, knowing everything you know?
Start as a brand new agent, having
do it.
I think it is a humble purpose. I believe it is. I mean, the key component, it's technology. I think number one, I think if I were to be a brand new agent coming to this business, this is the opportunity to really take this to the next level, right? The first thing, an agent needs to do, it is number one, have have a business plan. I think that's, a lot of new agents don't know how to start it. So I'll put a business plan, right? Think about it. And then why I'm saying that, just put a business, simple, first, second, third, fourth quarter. So this is how I will relate to that. Business plan and a new agent coming on board, it is extremely important because it measures from point A to point B, right? Imagine you are going without GPS, an address, and then not going through with the turns left and right. How are you going to get from point A to point B? So a lot of agents, new agents especially, they really don't have this picture. They're thinking about selling, I need to sell, I need to produce, I need to do it. But without business plan, there's no way you're gonna be going to the next level. I think business plan and have a mentor who's gonna pretty much mentor you and share the good practice. And I think that will be a good platform. And obviously that's one step, to that. I think that will be my advice to some of the agents.
Make sure that, would you buy leads from Zillow and et cetera, those companies, or is that a good strategy to buy the leads?
I mean, I would say yes. Our company, yes, we have different sources to get leads, and obviously, and also not only to get the leads, but also to have a platform to incubate the leads, right? Because one thing it's, for example, I'm just to give you an example, Zillow, they will give you, let's say, about maybe 30 leads a week, or 40 or 50, right, as an example. But most of those leads, they're not incubated correctly. So basically, you need to work on it. Right. So the question is, how are you going to incubate those leads? Are we talking about quantity of leads coming in and agents are getting crazy? Or are you talking about quality leads? That's a very good platform. So I think that's important for, all business or brokers to really, it's right. Not about quantity, it's about quality.
So to nurture and develop these leads, what have you experienced to be the best strategy for you to do that? Because people call you, dial for dollars, you're calling people. Like, is there a strategy that you've implemented that helps you nurture these leads and develop business over time?
Well, I think it's most of the leads they call our office or our agents are normally people they already search online on you. So basically, they saw your profile, they already went to your accounts, so they know already you are an agent expert in that field. So that makes them more confident to call you and say. And then, as you know, technology is a big boom in this industry right now. At this point, if you don't have the technology and the sources to really get to this, you're not going to be in any competition whatsoever. So basically, you're always going to be behind. People are going to be you because you already, there's a lot of, big companies, they do have that support system. Our system, we run a system which is called Zap. The Zap, it's a SOAR, which is they give you the platform to incubate the leads, and then from lead come to pending and then come to closing. So it's like a 3 steps, which is gets the preparation in our platform. So basically, we signed out, let's say we signed out for ABC company producing leads to our company. That company has to go to that platform, which is called Zap in Central 21, which controls exactly what's coming from that particular sources. So, which is, it sounds like a crazy stuff, but I think, we need to compete with other companies, right? So, and we need to incubate those leads, because once again, a lot of people thinking, like a lot of agents, they make this perception. You call the client answers you and then says, oh, I want to work with you. But it takes like about between 10 to 15 touch to follow up, to really convert and make this client, like ready to go. I mean, it's once again, it's all about incubation and preparation. A lot of people are searching for online with, a lot of agents, and then there's a lot of agents and you're competing with. So I think that's one factor, which is, it's all about incubation, and then pretty much not giving up, and you climb, and then providing that once again, the client will stick with you based on your experience, based on your reputation, and then the other thing, it's based in the customer service. I mean, it's that's the bottom line. If people feel you have the experience and let's say I'm selling a bank-owned property, and I'm certified, right? I'm a certified bank-owned expert REO broker right away, because when they call me, they say, Johnny, I went online and I see you are an expert in bank-owned properties, and that's the reason I call you. Now, once again, those people, they don't know me, right? But they already went to my social media, online, LinkedIn, and they already went and see. And then obviously, your credentials are there. I mean, people will check you out, and obviously, it's not something, 21 years, it's not something will come up from one day to another. So we've been working every single day. But in the meanwhile, those are the people that are coming to us.
Now, so you find that because of the work that you've done over the past 21 years, it's gotten easier, or is it starting to get, or is the competition just as fierce for you today as it was, 10 years ago?
Well, I mean, 10 to 20 years ago, just remember, we didn't have that, the tools and system technology.
Right.
It was not there.
Right.
Today's day, we have the technology, we have the tools and systems. So basically, right now, I can interview a client over the phone.
Yep.
And before, it was a little bit harder because, as you know, real estate works as a physical office. I have my physical office, right? Which is, we used to have people coming in. Right. Driving by us, because we are in the busy street. Today's day, that's not the traditional way.
Right.
People are going online, and then they're looking for their expert. So they're looking for somebody they feel they can help them to sell their house, or they can help me to buy my house. So basically, they're looking for an expert. The people, they've done this successfully.
So do you have a social media, digital strategy that you implement on a daily basis?
Yeah, we have a company. They work in my social media. Obviously, every day we improving, right? So I mean, the true story is that people need to know the true story. It's not like something you making up. We have our own page, but then also we have the company page. Obviously, we showcase agents. They're doing activities and things we do with our community. I think it is important for us, number one, to just be active not only in the business but also in the community, because that's exactly what we do. Buyer seminar, right? So let's just, last year we done, a lot of buyer seminar, and that creates lead to us. Now with this, pandemic, so it's kind of restricted. So now, but anyway, the information, it's there. So you go online, you find out, the steps to how to buy properties, how to sell properties, and obviously it's on our website. But in the meanwhile, now we have to adapt our business to the new model. So like we have to adapt to the restrictions we have today in our market. So before, like maybe a week ago, we couldn't do open houses. Now we got the green light in New Jersey, right? Lucky, right? Now we are authorized to conduct open houses, but they have a list of restrictions. They're looking to do that. So it's a different, I mean, how can I tell you? It's a different system. We never ever in my entire career, we faced this market. But one thing I can embrace is this market. It's one of, I mean, in one way, it's one of the tough ones, right? But in the meanwhile, it's one of the most effective way, in a way which is properties are still selling,
right?
Buyers are still buying, and then there's a market. Some sellers are a little, afraid to put the house in the market. Some sellers are saying, oh, maybe this is the time to sell my house because we don't know what's going to happen in the next couple months, which is...
It's a really interesting time, because So we're kind of the same way. We're on what's called phase 2 reopening, right? We're still not doing open houses. But what I am seeing is that the mindset that a producing agent has to have, the mindset now to adjust, because what you said, buyer seminars in person, you're not going to do them. You may never do them again.
Yeah.
You may never be able to do them again. You don't know if you're going to be locked down in 2 months from now.
Yeah.
Well, to plan out that strategy, you're going to have to move everything online and be able to communicate in such a way that people get to know, like, and trust you digitally now, right? That is a new reality that I think the majority of agents out there are really in a lot of trouble, because I can't bet on being able to door knock. Like, I can't go door knocking today. People would lose their minds if you door knocked, right? So there is a new reality, and there's a new mindset on how to produce, right? So what has enabled you to get to this point through strategy may be changing, but your mindset has to be even stronger than it ever was, so you don't get too scared or too fearful about what's next.
Yeah, and then it's a good point you say, your mindset. I normally use that a lot in my business model, and I think seems the restrictions, even though we did not stop our operation. So in another ways, we will continue with the logistics, even though people were not coming to our office, agents were not coming to our office, but me as a leader, manager, working with my personal assistant, with all the restrictions we did have to really work in-house, which is in our headquarters in our office, and then obviously giving the information to agents, and then focus. And I think one of the major things, and it's our mindset. We gotta focus in the positive mindset. I know there's a lot of things are coming up, but you cannot have that control your mindset. We have to, number one, be positive about, also be realistic about it, and also adjust your business model. Think like the way you say, right? Now we need to be able to, to adapt to our situation. Our situation is not the prettiest one. Our situation is not the greatest one. But if we prepare ourselves with all the tools and systems and preparation in our mindset, I think we're gonna go through.
I think so too. May I ask you this question? What do you personally make sure that your mind is strong? Because we all have our weaknesses and we all have our moments of inflection where we're scared. But what do you do to keep yourself, in that good headspace?
I think, I think it is just to really focus it's, when I have a challenge, I don't focus in the challenge. When I have a problem, which is, I don't like to use that word, I call it challenge, right? I have a challenge, because a problem is more like a negative. I have a problem and I don't know what to do. No, let's work in the challenge, which is, of course, slides. I would say problem. Let's work in the solution. Many of my deals I closed last year, the years before, in the past, 21 years, I focus in the solution, not what the problem is. You get my point? So I know I have a problem in there, but I work in the solution. How can I move forward? Now, we all talk about psychology, and I think this is what we need to be strong. And then how can we be strong with the mindset and having all difficult market? I think you have to have, number one, you have to have a mentor, who's a person who can relate when you're going yourself down. to talk about it, and how can you really over challenge, the fears and everything is going on in your life. Second, I think you have to be disciplined and then really focus on the positive things, which means work out, right? Do the session of workout, even though now the gyms are still closed, but I was able to look. I mean, I was able to go to the park and make my run and then do my, 45 minutes on an hour, biking, things are going to be adapted to yourself. The gyms and things are not being open. Malls are still closed, but you need to be able to adapt to things and not to think too much, and the negative thing is happening in the world. So basically I focus on what the positive thing could come up. Normally I do not like to hear anybody with negative, energy, or somebody's going to bring something negative. I don't know. I mean, I think maybe it's my genes, but I like to. I mean, nothing is perfect. But in the meanwhile, today's day, I'm concentrating and I'm preparing my mindset in the positive things. What's happened now in our market today, which means accomplish as much as we can, and then obviously, we cannot, with this particular market, we cannot be afraid to really go ahead. But I mean, I think my prediction is, it's one of the toughest markets, but in the meanwhile, it's one of the markets you can see the green grass, because a lot of properties are selling in a heartbeat.
Got it. When you look at yourself, so your physicality is super important for you to perform. Sounds like you got to train, you got to have a mentor, you got to have someone in your corner to help you past your mental blocks that you may have.
Yeah.
Technology is super important in this game going forward.
Yeah.
Are you still working 16 hours a day? Like, how does that look for you, your typical day?
Well, one of the things that I normally, it's once again, it's not about quantity. I know a lot of agents, they have the perception, oh, real estate is 24/7. I don't know if you hear that.
Every day.
Yeah. So I just want to tell you what I do. So basically for me, it's not about quantity, it's about quality. I could be in my office 2 hours and accomplish all my agenda in 2 hours and make things happen, and then go back to, I could go to the gym, or I could go golf, I could do things or share. I could be with my family, because one of the things, we always, when you're in real estate, you basically it's everybody could call you anytime and anywhere, Saturday, Sundays. So basically the life on an agent, supposedly you have no weekends, because that's the day you showing properties, and that's the day you do open houses, Saturdays and Sundays. So in my business model, it's normally what I do is I coach my clients. I say, look, I mean, I'm available for you from 9 to 7. After 7, you can leave a message, you can text me, but I will follow up for the next following day.
Good.
So in other ways, I coach my clients to really know to reach me from that time to that time. And why I'm doing that? Because many times, as you know, when you are in your family dinner and a phone call comes in, it's your client.
You gotta go. Back.
And then say, hey, by the way, I want to make an offer and this and that. And you are in your personal space with your family. And that's when things are going south, left, and right. And a lot of agents, they have that perception. So they pick up the phone call for every time, anywhere, any text, any emails. And then they're thinking the world will collapse if they don't answer the phone call. Well, guess what? That's why you have technology. People could email you, people could text you, and people could leave a message. So basically, nothing will happen if you don't answer the phone, right? So you just follow up.
You're right. You got to coach your client. And then the clients that are okay with that will stay, and the ones that are not, they'll leave.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, but that's look, I mean, that's something I've been doing a long time. I think it's all about discipline. I mean, obviously, if it's something important, at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, that's not an emergency. What could happen in that day?
I agree with you completely.
Right. I mean, it's all about leverage your time and obviously respect your own time, because sometimes we feel like we work 24/7, and absolutely for the ones that are thinking that way, I mean, I cannot change their mindset, but for my purpose, that works for me, and that's the discipline I have in my business model. And one thing I can tell you, it is I do not miss any activities from my son or my family. It's extremely, extremely important to be part of that.
I agree with
if
you.
it's something important for them, it's also important for me. So I create a business, family, and things I like to do.
Right.
So I don't kind of cross that bar.
When you look at, and I want you to just to hear this question because I think it's super important. The churn rate in our business is probably 90% over the course of 5 years, right? People in and out of the business.
Yeah.
What makes you so special to do 163 transactions? What's your magic sauce?
That's a good question. I mean,
I mean that like super professionally. Like,
yeah.
Very few people. What makes you different?
I think it's the love of my career. I think I wake up every morning, 6:30 in the morning, with the same commitment to my career to help my client.
Right.
And it's the same attitude, positive attitude, and I love what I do. Once again, I'm 21 in the business, and I love what I do every single day. So the question is how to keep that. It's number one. You got to break it down. You have to balance yourself. You have to balance yourself in a way which is workout, preparation, which is business. You have to always keep coaching, right? And then you get obviously you get the preparation, workout, coaching, and then obviously you get your family also involved, because once again it's one of the biggest fan and cheer, with goods or bads, it's always going to be your foundation of your family, and that family always comes first.
I agree. You nailed it. You got to like what you do. If you don't like the process of being in real estate, you can't do it just for the transaction. Because if you're doing it just for the transaction, you won't enjoy the process. And if you don't enjoy the process, the game, being in the game, then it's painful. Like, it's an absolutely painful business if you don't like the day-to-day nuances of solicitation, of growing a database, of creating a brand, of creating, that circle of influence, right? If you don't like that process, forget it. It's a horrible business, actually.
Yeah, and then one of the things also I determine when I interview people, right? And I ask the question, and I'm being in different conference, invited to speak as a speaker, and then go through with probably 3,000 agents, hearing what you need to hear and what is your good practice, right? So in that aspect, it is extremely important for us to really leverage, number one, your time. Number two, to always prepare yourself with a mentor. Somebody is going to really, really drill you up and tell you exactly what things you need to improve. Think about your basketball player. Think about that. right? You're a basketball player. What the basketball players do in the court, they do their best and they love what they do. Not because, they're getting millions of dollars. I know that all this success and everything is always in the back. But with those best players in any sport, they are looking for they love what they do every single day. They practice, they go to practice every single day. They get the physical fitness every single day. They prepare their mindset every single day. So it's the same thing in real estate. I got my coach, right? Who's my mentor.
Yeah.
I got my fitness up and running, and I have my business plan. Hello. So I'm ready I consider myself like an athlete. So I have my fitness who prepares me, logistically, right? Prepare myself like physical, because I have to be fit. I have to be prepared myself, because fitness is all preparation, but also prepares you mindset. I have, let's say my day, wake up 6:30, drop my boys, at high school, right? Right now they're in high school, both, right? Brian and Josh. And then after that, I'm hitting the gym at 7:30. I'm already in the gym with all my stuff ready to go. So I got my workout down, an hour and a half. By 10:30, I'm already ready to make things happen in my business. By 10 o'clock, I'm already ready. My mindset is positive. My fitness it's good. I feel good, right? And third, ready for whatever is coming that day to really accomplish. That's a simple way I could share with you.
And I think you rang my bell there with that one, because at the end of the day, a lot of us in the game, and whatever game we're in, it doesn't matter. I think looking at an athlete and how they train, and their whole entire focus every day to get better at their craft, right? And we have to look at our business as a craft. We're in this business to win. We're in it to perform at a high level.
Yeah.
That's what we're chosen to do. And most of us live quiet lives of desperation, not really making a committed decision to performing at a high level.
Right.
Everyone's capable.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Very few people make a committed decision about something. Right?
Yeah. And then you got to remember one thing, from all, just go the statistics and how many realtors 1% gets to the top. 1%.
Yeah.
Literally, it's like, 1% from 1,000 realtors are all over. But anyway, anybody's capable to do it. Long as they have the discipline, they love to their career. That's why I always said, listen, this is not a hobby. This is not it's not for everyone. Of course, it's not for everyone. Real estate is not for everyone. You need to have it. You need to have all the talent. You have to love what you do. And then you got to be committed. So the question is, look, you want to be in the top? Put skin in the game. Period. Put skin in the game. And those are the things you need to treat. You need to treat this career not as a hobby, like you said, not as a, I'm just going to make a couple bucks and then, in 1 year I'm going to be out. No, might as well. If you really love what you do and you can start from A to Z, those are the things, the disciplines you need to go through. But that's something you as an agent or you as a leader or as a broker, you need to go through with your mind, with your own, do a test in yourself. You see that I'm committed to do those things and are not the easy ones, but I have to be consistent. I see a lot of people that they start beginning of the year, they're all planned. I have my business plan, I got this and this. And how many of those people, they put a plan together, they really actually performance? So that's a good question. I mean, to me, look, like if you put a plan together, be committed to everything, 80%, 90% you put in a piece of paper, you accomplish. And then that's a measure for you. And that's a measure for every, top producer, your performance, obviously we love to see the data. We love to see, and you know who they are. I mean, you see them all, every year, it's not easy to be in the top. I mean, it's easy for an agent to go in the top. To maintain in the top is harder.
Because now so ignorance is bliss. I hear what you just said, right? So ignorance is bliss. I work really, 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 really hard. And also I hit that pinnacle, or I hit it. But then I got to do it again. Now I know what I have to do. Now I know what it takes. Then you start asking yourself the question, do I really want to do it? Am I willing to live that way every single year? Right? So 2 questions we got to ask ourselves. Am I capable? So people are capable. But then am I willing to do what's necessary? And that's where most people fall down. They're not willing. They're not willing to do the work.
Yeah.
And that's I look at you, 160 plus transactions in a given year. That's extraordinary as an individual. It's extraordinary results.
I appreciate it. Yep.
And I appreciate you, and I appreciate the time that you spent with us, especially in this interesting times that we live in. I appreciate you sharing some of your wisdom, sharing some of your experience, what somebody has to do to hit your level. And I appreciate you very, very much. One last question.
Sure.
Do you need a lot of money? Do you need to spend a lot of money to perform at the level that you perform at?
Well, I mean, I think the answer is, think about you investing in yourself, right? You investing in yourself, you are an entrepreneur, and you want to get to this business. And you as a business, right? If you are in a business of model, you need to, once again, you need to put skin in the game. Right. So that means, let's say I'm going to invest, an example, I'm not saying that, right? An example, I'm going to invest 10,000 in my business, right? 10,000 in my business. And then let's say for this year, 10,000 in my business, and I'm going to concentrate in lead generation, marketing, my training, because you need to, you as a professional, if you want to performance this as a high level, you always got to be trained. Always. And you have to have a mentor. You have to have somebody is going to drill you up, and then you have to be capable to measure your success or your failing and see what can you do to change that mindset. But in another ways, yes. I mean, if you want to start in this business, I mean, yeah, you can start with, with the budget, which is, you can start with, 1,000, 2,000, whatever it will fit your needs. I cannot tell you, look, spend 20,000 and you're gonna be a superstar. Start being realistic. So start from basic, basics. I mean, that's when I start. I start with 0 clients. I mean, bottom line, when I started, we didn't have technology. We didn't have anything. Once again, I used to meet people, give my business card, and I used to go to business, right? Business and say, is that okay if I leave my information, my business card in there? And then, anything else. I mean, I started, and then those are the people that were like calling me and say, oh, I saw the, in, ABC restaurant, your business, and sounds like, I want to interview, I want to buy, or I want to sell. So those are the basic stuff I done years ago. But today's day, everything is technology. So whoever wants to come on board, I think it's always welcome. This is an opportunity. It's presented to somebody. to see the true potential.
Right.
But you're never going to see the true potential until you go in the boat. You need to be in the boat. So you need to go in the boat and then run it.
You gotta be in the game. And you got to be in the game. And most people aren't in the game. Right. And I do agree with you. Like, you absolutely need someone in your corner. Like, someone's got to be in your corner, kind of being with you through this process. Someone who, either understands the mind, or someone who's been in the game, who's had some success, who can feel it out and kind of help you navigate, this crazy business called real estate. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's once again, I think this is one of the amazing things. And then the other thing it is, you have to be able to adapt your business for the situation where we are. Nobody prepares last year. If you ever think about it, do you ever think about this is something will happen and then you need to have your budget, your reserves, because you're going to be off the market for 3 months? Nobody. It's like, we run it day by day, but in the meanwhile you have to adapt your business to the situation you are at this point. We cannot, once again, we got to move forward. And I think, there's, elite leaders, like probably also doing the same. And, I appreciate the, you interview and, I want to share what I'm doing. But in the meanwhile, I think the main focus here is how can we move forward from this difficult market? And I think the message will be very simple. Keep doing what you're doing with the limitations. You have to adapt your business. Number one, be safe. That's number one. 2, be cautious. And number 3, just adapt your business to the reality we are going through now and then moving forward. The market is hot, I tell you that. The market is extremely hot in New Jersey. Everything you put in the market is selling, multiple offers. People are still buying properties. So this is maybe the chance for people that really want to do this to take their own opportunity to move forward with this career. And I think to me it is, look, if you think this is a good fit for you, go ahead and believe in yourself. And once again, sky's the limit. Everyone is capable to do and reach the sky, long as you love what you do, which is I do. I love what I do every single day.
Amazing. It's amazing to see. Me too. I like what I'm doing. So thank you so much for spending some time with me today, Johnny. I really appreciate you. I appreciate your expertise, your experience, graciousness to give of your time so freely. So thank you so much.
One last thing before I forget. And the other thing I think we didn't drill up, it is one of the forces, the number one force is my biggest motivation for me personally, right? It's my family. My family, my 2 kids, and obviously my wife, the biggest support system for everything I do. So nothing will happen unless I do have that support system in my back. My son, Joshua, which is he's in 11th grade now, and my son Brian, it's in 10th grade going now. Those are the big, the big support system for me, and my family always will come first.
You got a big why behind you.
And of course, and also, my wife. So it's a support system that keeps me up every single day. Without the support system, I don't believe I will be as fit in terms of business and in terms of leadership positions and everything I do every single day. But yeah, I have to name them, and they're my biggest motivation in my business.
That's right. I get that. I'm married with kids. I understand that motivation. So thank you so much for being with us today. And if I'm ever in New Jersey, I'm going to come knocking on your door.
Oh, sure. That's for sure. Yeah. And then I have a very good places to go. And it's right by the water between New York and New Jersey. It's one of the, great restaurants. You can see the views in, New York, and it's an open, no roof, nothing. So it's a great place. Yeah. More than welcome, Richard. thank you so much. I always admire, number one, admire you, because of number one, the interview, and number two, what you do. I really appreciate on top of my heart, between my team, and obviously, and very humble to have this opportunity to be interviewed by you, and then continue next time. I'm always going to be there for you guys, and whenever you want another interview, you guys have my green line. I'll be more than happy, and thank you so much in the bottom of my heart for the opportunity.
You're lovely. Stay with us for the next minute, okay?
Yeah, sure.
Thanks for tuning in to today's show. If you like what you've heard and you're interested in seeing if you are fit to work with Peak Results Academy, here's what I want you to do next. Head over to peakresultsacademy.com/call. That's peakresultsacademy.com/call and book an appointment to speak with our team. We'll get on the phone with you for about 45 minutes and get you crystal clear on 3 things. Number 1, what do you really want out of life and your business? Number 2, what is not working for you today? And number 3, the exact strategy you should be using to create massive change in these areas. Remember, changing your life and creating massive results does not happen by itself. You need expert guidance to make it happen. We're helping clients all over the world create peak results in their health, in their businesses, and in their personal lives. To see if we can help you do the same, head over to peakresultsacademy.com/call. We'll chat soon.